I'll start recording.
Hey, that's fun. Well, they're about to have a minute silence, so... Yeah, that's why I was confused when I just put it up.
Oh. What's that?
Can I sit here?
Yeah. No problem.
Even I have to speak because I just stuck it.
I don't think we get any sound from my camera, so...
Welcome you to Warrior Park with that minute silence being impeccably observed here at Warrior Park for the father of well-known referee Stratos Pomeridis, Bill Pomeridis, who I found out while walking through the gate today scored the first goal for Olympia when they changed their name from the Grecians to Olympia about nearly 60 years ago now, so a real club legend there, and the impeccably observed minute silence. Well done there. You are here for this NPL Tasmania match between the Olympia FC Warriors and the Hobart Zebras. Warriors really keen for a victory here this afternoon, especially with Devonport in fine form yesterday. St Joel Stone's stunning free kick. I know the Warriors faithful were eagerly looking at the results for that one while I was here yesterday afternoon, keeping an eye on what Devonport were doing, and when it was 0-0 at half time, they were very, well, not cocky, but very much enjoying Kingborough's defensive resolution there, but unfortunately it wasn't to be, and they've now got to try and get back within touching distance, obviously with that suspension hanging over their heads a tad. We'll go through the teams in a moment, but before I do, I'll introduce the usual slice of cheese colleague here, Andrew Cooling. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Paul. Picked a lovely game to actually kick off on time for once.
I know.
I was counting on that traditional 10-minute delay, but seems we're kicking off on time, and good contest in the store here between these two teams. Certainly a must-win for the Warriors to keep their slim hopes alive. And that game you mentioned yesterday, had that been a 1-1 draw, maybe that might have been a bit more incentive today, but that Joel Stone goal really making it difficult for anyone of the strikers now.
I have a handshake to one of them.
Yeah, experimenting with multiple cameras the other
Yes.
day, are we, you Phil?
Yes, we are. I did ask that about a second before the minute silence went off, and got a quick yes, and then didn't hear any more because the minute silence started. But I did notice one of our streamed cameramen in, I think it's Justin over there, in the more unique spot here at Warrior Park. Good to see the double camera action, maybe just from the match at North Hobart Oval between these two sides. Maybe just decided that every Zebras Olympia game needs the full 2-camera setup. I mean, it was great for the infamous Lucas Hill incident in the 90-odd minute there to get a zoom in on there. So maybe just keeping an eye out. These games always tend to simmer under the surface as the game gets underway through Geordie Moore, but maybe just to capture every possible bit of the action, we've done that here this afternoon.
Yeah, don't mind it. As this one's worked forward there. Geordie Moore, really important. Dukes in there in the midfield today for the Zebras. Dwayne Walsh in at left back there. Versatile player playing it down the line. Kurtz, speaking of versatile, is a man who's played nearly every position on the park this year, probably bar striker. And as Matty Sanders turns into space, Luke Huxley making a promising run, but Straight onto the chest of Stevens. Ladich working it forward. There's Yonazawa. Or Hugh Sloot stretching. Kurt's well away from him. And Jordan Scott has been a little subdued in the last couple of weeks. He's really come under close attention from opposition teams, it has to be said. Such is the pedigree of Scott. The teams are really just almost double man marking him at times, making it very difficult in there for the Englishman. King of the Andals gets on the ball. Jono Ladich. Now Scott. First time pass looking for Nkoso, but easy pickings there for Sammy Watman. And just launches this one straight into touch.
And Jordan Scott is aware of that. He's been noticing that the last few weeks when I was catching up with him yesterday, that they are just sticking 2 players on him, and it's not doing a great deal of good for him to be able to get the play moving and get it traffic directing through him, which I think he likes to have happen. So that will be interesting as we have Edwards charging down the left-hand side. Scott coming over for company. Had Thompson as well. It's Hugh Sloot. Back out to Edwards, and referee Nathan Code brings that one back for the foul. Hugh Sloot playing today on a Sunday against the Warriors. It's amazing when they're not necessarily in touching distance with each other on the table. Hugh Sloot's magically appearing in the Zebras lineup.
Yeah, just putting an interesting twist. I thought it probably would just dent the conspiracy, but you've added another layer to it.
Yeah, I've gone next level.
You've really added some nuance to the strategic scheduling of Hugh Sloot's work shifts by the Greek Grocers. So interesting. Maybe just he was playing the long game, getting next year involved too. Is really taking the conspiracy to new depths there, Paul Hunt, as this one's whipped to the back post, but never really gave big Orana Harutza a chance of that one. Should rather overhit.
Yes. Kyle McDonald in goal as always here for the Warriors. I think he's only not played in the Clarence United games so far this season. And they were giving the backup a bit of a run. As see the Warriors fans in good attendance in the background, including the face of Libraries Tasmania, Alex Holmes, our personal slice of cheese favourite. Don't see him out there on the field anymore, but anytime I want to do any study, geez, I see his face a lot. As Sanders tries to get it towards Edwards. Thompson gives it away to the Dwayne Pike. He looks to play in Edwards down the left-hand side. Kurtz for company. Edwards trying to jink past, but the American solid as a rock. Makes it clear. And as far as Ladich. Scott turning away from Muller, who's had a couple of nibbles, and the referee does eventually call it, but that's the sort of attention we see Jordan Scott has come under in this last month in particular.
And it's not a bad strategy either. He was so influential in the early goings this season. Surprised he started to pick up extra attention as the year has worn on. And firmly in the player of the season conversation. Probably he and Joel Stoner, the two most fancy. They've probably combined been the two most influential players this campaign. And any rate, as Watman gets himself into all sorts of trouble, and Joffrey Nkoso gets a goal from an absolute howler from big Sammy Watman. Well, we had the tackle goal yesterday, and that is similar, if somewhat less spectacular.
Yeah, you're going to ask my expert analysis on that before the replay goes. Didn't see it, was looking at the team sheet. It's, as you say, it's come from absolutely nothing. The tackle goal was pretty spectacular yesterday. And Koso Muller's passed it back to the keeper. That's just a heavy touch from Watman. Not quite getting in the game early, the big Kiwi, and Koso pouncing in to make it 1-0. They won't score an easier goal this season, I don't think, the Warriors.
He might well have injured himself in the process there, though, Geoffrey Nkoso, clutching at his knee. Well, he's just given the thumbs up to the bench, which is a good sign. So disaster there for the Hobart Zebras early on. A back pass, a really heavy touch from Watman, and then just tackled in from the king of the Andals. Less spectacularly than Ryan McGarrigan's, that's for sure, but certainly a similar error at the back, leading to an early goal. And the Zebras respond in the fashion City did, who got their back on terms pretty quickly yesterday.
Well, it's happened last time Olympia played Zebras here. Malungala scored from, it was a save, it was sort of a parry right in the 6-yard box, which you don't really want to do as a keeper, so that could almost be classed as a keeper error as well. Malungala scored from a yard out, his ears away. Edwards, great save, McDonald, but it ends up in the back of the net, and the instant reply has happened for the Zebras. moved out wide to Nicky Edwards, fired a shot. McDonald got a good hand to it, but wasn't enough to stop it wrestling in the back of the net, and it's 1-1 already.
Yeah, well, there was a quick response, even quicker in fact, and just slid through here with some nice play in the build-up. And sliding in Nicky Edwards. McDonald gets a hand to it, but can't keep it out. And 1-1 after just 5 minutes here. Nicky Edwards gets them back on terms. Good response from the Zebras. And both defences and the keepers looking a little bit shaky early on in this one. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come. Could be in for some heavy scoring today, if that's any indicator. This one's cleared away by Big Harutza. Zebras will be glad to have him back in there. And of course, missed last week after picking up the 2 yellows against Devonport. And really the game changed from the moment he went off. He was handling Barnard particularly well that day. And from the moment he went off, suddenly the Fox broke free. And really, that's how influential he is. The Zebras defence, with and without him. Different beasts indeed, as Jordan Scott quite get that one down the line from Koso.
Plenty to talk about in the opening few minutes of this match. And we haven't even managed to get time to run through the team sheets either here, which is what I was doing before Ngoso scored. We'll quickly just run them out verbally at some point when we have a stoppage in play. Hugh Sloot tries to get that one forward. Thompson, who dropping back to right back here this afternoon for the Warriors. Back to the keeper, McDonald. Down to Harutza, who will have a big job on his hands, marking Jack Ryan, one of the few forwards in the league who'll match up to him pretty well physically as Stevens comes in, but can't keep that one in play.
It'll be a good battle between those two as this one's taken quickly. Great throw, Sanders turning, and it's a great block there from Stevens. He almost caught them out there with the quick throw. Sanders, an intelligent piece of movement. And Paul Stevens recovering and executing a fine block there. And plenty of action happening, and again the long throw into Sanders. Hugh Sloot over the top of the ladder, offside against the Colonel here as he tried to fire home from the tightest of angles.
How much ground did Paul Stevens make up? He's the one who conceded the throw, and it's a great camera angle where you can see it just getting back into position in the nick of time. He was well advanced of his defensive line there, Stevens, and showed a good turn of pace to get back and block that Sanders shot. As McDonald's free kick will end up with Blake Kurtz, who's knocked himself in that centre-back position. Lucas Hill returning, but being pushed further up the field into central midfield role. We've seen that over the past few years, where he can play delightful passes like that one, as Ryan using the spin to his advantage, cutting inside. Jack Ryan wants to find Hill! And great save from Watman, redeeming himself there. Lucas Hill pushed further up the forward here this afternoon, and Watman does very well to get down low.
Yeah, real Jekyll and Hyde start to the game here from Sammy Watman. A howler to begin with, but saves a goal here with a fantastic save. That was hit with some venom. Does really well to push that one past the post as this one swung in, and it'll be easy pickings for Watman. And just wonder if Lucas Hill in midfield is a bit to do with Luke Hughes-Sloot's presence. Just giving that extra body in there. Also, I think just the form of Baker at centre half has been really impressive. So why move him? He's been exemplary in that role. So don't mind that. And I reckon probably someone to match up with Hughes-Sloot in those midfield aerial duels might be a part of it. Although Hughes-Sloot's certainly pushed on into pretty advanced areas in the early going here. Here's Jaden Hay. Spreads it wide for Yonezawa, who bends this one. No run made by Pace there. Can see what he was thinking there, Yonezawa, but Pace not quite on the same page as his fullback on that occasion.
We've noted a few times up here in the commentary box that sometimes it's really hard to play with wingers here at Warrior Park given the dimensions, and the Warriors have really just done away with them full stop at the moment. They got this midfield four of Hill, Ladich, Scott and Mearns, and Mearns and Scott are nominally pushing out wide, but really that's a pretty central, almost like a 4-4-2 diamond kind of formation they're running at the moment. Sanders tries to flick that one onto Edwards. Kurtz knocks it long in the Ryan direction. Wanted to go the spectacular volley. Hill wrestling with Hay. Going out to Yonezawa. Muller, who's got Pace storming down the wing. Mearns nipping at his heels. Hughes-Sloot just gets it out of his feet in time. To the goal scorer, Edwards. To the drain pipe. Walsh is robbed by Koso. That's pushing the back on Harutza, not called. Scott clips and gives away the foul on this occasion, Jordan Scott. He's setting up interesting tactically here this afternoon.
Yeah, we've seen in recent weeks kind of they've almost had Jack Ryan just dropping in a little bit deeper and Malungala and Koso kind of nominally either side of him, but playing in front as kind of strikers, and it seems like Mearns might be adopting one of those roles. But yeah, it's obviously a different ground. Dimensions-wise makes it difficult for pure wingers, but this one swung in looking for Sanders away like Thompson. We saw South Hobart play without wingers and it didn't work too well for them against Olympia, playing 2 central mids out wide. So it's always a fine balance, because whilst there's not a lot of room to manoeuvre, if they can get in behind, they're in good promising positions to impact the scoreboard, given how near the penalty box is to the wings. As Sanders steers this one in, away from Thompson. Good ball to Nkoso. Gets it out from behind his feet, but lost it to Walsh. Jaden Hay now surging forward. Lovely little pass into Sanders. Still going Sanders, and that's headed by Hugh Sloots. Just wide of the post. And here's the threat the big man poses. There's a lovely build-up play there from the Zebras, and they've responded really well to going a goal down. They've got back on terms, and they've looked to take the lead since going down. They've been pretty sharp.
A pretty positive approach from the Zebras this afternoon so far. Not really looking to sit back, and their defence is playing a fairly high line. They've been going through Edwards and Sanders a fair bit. Edwards has been one of their better players this season, as Ryan finds Nkoso. Heavy touch, almost leads in Harutza. Gets it out to Mearns. Drops it back to Hill. Ryan with the diagonal run. Scott's in an acre of space on the right-hand side. Hill has the shot at goal instead. Turned over as far as Muller. And Hay. Ladic just getting a toe in. Interesting style of challenge, but clearly got the ball. And there's Harutza using his body well. Hay does well to get out of a tight space. Was not sure if Edwards was onside. Had that fallen to him. Ladic. Scott. Now Hill gets the return ball. Nkoso. It's Harutza looking him very tightly. Now Muller. Out to Edwards. Just to have another run at youngster Thompson. Cuts inside on the right foot, does Edwards, and it's a good save from McDonald. Hit high above his head, and safety first in palming it over the top. He was probably looking for the far corner there, Edwards, and was a bit central, but another good shot on goal from the Zebra scorer so far.
He's made a bright start to this one. Nicky Edwards has been in pretty good form in recent times. He's a lively customer, always seems to make things happen when he gets on the ball. He'll come across to take this corner. As per usual, plenty of tall timber on both sides out there. This one swung in, punched away a bit unconvincingly. Geordie Muller chips it away from Jack Ryan. And then Kurtz puts it straight to the back of Nathan Code. Sanders pounces on the loose ball. Probably a good result that it's gone out for a throw-in, lest there be any controversy there. Code blocking the clearance there. Just not much you can do about that one. Straight to the back of him, so Walsh. Hugh Sloot presenting short, but well read by Kurtz. Walsh kicking it back in, this time Ladic. Pace attacking it. Spills out McDonald, able to collect. Before Pace can get there, the quick release to the chef. Charge down there on the near touchline. A good intensity to this game so far through the first 15 minutes. Pace about it. A little back heel there from Mearns. Very tidy, but Koso can't quite make it work for him. Yonazawa searching for Sanders, who's been industrious leading the line thus far. McDonald. Jaden Hay cutting that one out ahead of Scott. A bit ungainly there from Geordie Muller. Mearns. Cook. Now Ladic. Some time to spread a pass out towards Scott, but cutting it out was Walsh. Now Nicky Edwards rolling it through for Sanders, who want to turn onto his left. Holds off the attentions of Ryan Cook. Jaden Hay. Back to Hugh Sloot. Now Walsh. Walsh bending this one in, but just slightly overhit. And comfortable again for McDonald.
McDonald goes out wide to Thompson. Thompson back to Kurtz. This is more what we see from the Warriors. More patient build-up. Zebras holding off for the moment, and then Edwards closes down at the last minute. Walsh goes as far as Ryan. Back to Ladich, who's got Cook or Mearns, and goes to the chef. Mearns tries the return ball. But the Warriors just trying to play the game a bit more at their pace rather than the one we've had the first 15 minutes, where it's been a bit more end-to-end as the long ball diagonally played out to Ryan. Ryan trying to turn former Olympia player Tommy Little, but Little wins out on this matchup. Walsh back to Kurtz. Good spell of possession here for the Warriors. Cook tries to thread the needle. Not happening on that occasion. Mearns keeps the ball, looks up, spies the runner Jack Ryan at the back post. He's going to slightly overhit that one. Did well to get his head up. He peeled off the centre back there, had Ryan. Didn't quite execute the service to the big man. Still the Warriors' leading goal scorer so far this season.
Hasn't got much service so far today, Big Jack Ryan. Really been able to hit the target man thus far. This one's flicked on by Sanders. Interesting way of controlling the ball. A few shouts for handball from around the ground from the Zebras faithful here. Nothing doing as Thompson. Over the head of Big Jack Ryan, who's really not getting any service at all here, even from the throw-ins from short range. He's a tall man, and that still went over the top of him. Thankless job for him early on as the former Warrior Tommy Little ships this one onto the head of Ladich. Hugh Sloop nodding it now for pace. Hay and Hill buff it off each other. And now it spills the way of Nick Mearns. Mearns sliding it through for Jack Ryan. There's some service, and he squandered it. A wonderful ball from Mearns, and he's just gone with the outside of the boot there, Jack Ryan, and spooned it over the top. It's a good chance that's gone begging.
He's one of the best inside the 18-yard box in the state, is Ryan, and that's why I'm so surprised that one's not hit the back of the net. Mearns, perfectly weighted ball. Ryan, I'm not sure if I want to say it took a bobble, but it can't really say that on this surface. He's just leant back a tad and hit it high and wide.
Very generous.
And I feel like that one really should be 2-1 to the Warriors. We commenting before, he hasn't had a lot of service today, or indeed in patches this entire season, really. And he got a silver service from Mearns on that occasion. And now Cook will look to do the same. Coming across his pace, finds Nkoso. Matches up against Hurutza and gets around the big Czech centre-back who concedes a corner. The Warriors first for the game, second. Scott to leisurely stroll over to take this set piece. Plenty of tall timber in both sides, especially with Hill and Ryan. It'll be Scott to take. Goes towards the centre, cleared by Hugh Sloot, and it's Edwards. He's only blue in front. That's a great slide challenge from John O'Ladich. Coming back well to help out his defence. Thompson. There's pace in front of him. There's Mearns. Cook is bombing on down the left-hand side. He wants to go there. He does eventually. Now towards Nkoso. Controlling it ahead of Hurutza. Nkoso turning and running at the defence. Lays it to Scott. Scott wants to get back on the right peg. Drops the step over, and Yonezawa read that one like a book, and he must have slightly clipped him afterwards there, because that's the only reason I can see a foul being given.
It was a lovely piece of defending from Ryu Yonezawa. Scott to take him on. A little bit of fancy footwork, but the Japanese right back was having none of it. And it's been pretty rare that someone's taken him on and beaten him this year. He's been an absolute rock this season, Yonezawa. One of the best defenders in the league this season. He finds Hugh Sloot here, but his touch was heavy, straight to Mearns. And Koso. Side to the line, just trying to find a throw in, and somehow kept it in. Ladic steers it back to Paul Stevens. Kurtz. Side to Thompson. It's Lucas Hill, but Tommy Little able to spin that one out to Walsh. Hugh Sloot. Edwards. Well read again by Bay Kurtz. Just to really judge when to go and when to sit off nicely. He knows he usually wins the ball. There's Lucas Hill. The Mountain shielding this one from Walsh. Stevens. Wide for Cook. Cook swinging it in. Harutza helps it on its way to Ryan. Oh, he did his keeper no favours there. The big Czech centre back nearly set up a great chance for Jack Ryan. It was very dicey indeed. Perhaps fortunate to have been let off the hook there. Could easily be 2-1 the Warriors in this game off the last couple of minutes.
The former defenders in the commentary box up here confused by what the defender was doing on that occasion, as Stevens has let that one a bit behind McDonald as well. That's a heavy touch and nearly lets in the Colonel. It's in as far as Edwards, who couldn't get a good first touch, and he really wanted that way outside of his feet there, did McDonald. And Sanders not quite getting his fortune as Nkoso did earlier. One high towards Cook. Yonezawa. It's the first real up and under we've seen in the first 20 odd minutes. Nkoso. Hill. Muller got his head down. Hill not meaning anything malicious by that one. He just wanted to control it with the foot rather than the head. And he will get a slice of cheese for his trouble there, Hill.
Should be his 6th or 7th of the season.
I'm not going.
I'm
not touching that.
We won't go there. Either way, a card for Lucas Hill, not an unfamiliar sight.
No, we have seen him get more than one this year. I'll guarantee that much.
So, Harutza will take the free kick. It's a slightly harsh one there, I reckon, on Lucas Hill. Fairly inadvertent, that one. So, Muller just kind of really putting his head down low. Across to Walsh. Now, hey, for Little. Yonezawa. Back again to Harutza. Hayes been busy in midfield in this one. He strokes this one out to Yonezawa. His touch let in Mearns. Mearns can't get in behind him though. Covering nicely Yonezawa. Now Walsh. Not really sure who that was to. Straight to Bay Kurtz in the end. Strokes it out to Stevens. Paul Stevens ignoring Jordan Scott, who was in acres of space, pleading for the ball. Good not to go there. Hugh Sloot now stooping for the header. The Mountain Hill for Ladic. This is the Warriors just looking to settle things down and get a bit of spell of possession here. Jordan Scott. Well, his best work there, straight to Tommy Little. Sanders. Hay gets past two, Jaden Hay. And then slides it through for Hugh Sloot and continues his run. Can Hugh Sloot pick him out? Not quite. There's a lovely link-up move there between Hay and Hugh Sloot. McDonald able to gather. And a long searching ball for Jack Ryan. A slip from Harutza. But it was due to a little infringement from Ryan, who again pleads with the refs. He hasn't had a lot go his way in that department this season.
And again, feeling aggrieved at that decision. Thought Harutza had slipped prior, but I'd say that one is definitely a foul.
Yeah, when you put two hands out for the body and push him, you probably can't have too many complaints. He does get some harsh treatment at times, Jack Ryan, a victim of his own size, but I think on that occasion, a fairly straightforward one for Nathan Coe.
Hay, who's one of the busier players this afternoon, tries to find the overlapping fullback in Walsh. Heads it towards Sanders. He wants handball, Walsh. Not forthcoming. There's a nice little pass to Edwards, who has another shot at goal. Comfortably claimed by McDonald. Edwards not afraid to shoot on site here this afternoon.
Yeah, he certainly used confidence up after that first one. He'll shoot on side policy.
So that one's gone long. Little rising high over Ryan. Ryan will try and turn him down the sideline. There's Nkoso for company. Can't get the return passes. Hay finds Sanders, who can turn if he wants to. Ladic with a push in the back to adversaries. And some of the more experienced players in the NPL Taz there. Sanders and Ladic going at it. Edwards challenging with Kurtz. Kurtz wins out. And just eludes two teammates. Hay, as far as Yonezawa. Pace to Muller. He's seen a lot of Matty Pace so far in this first half, but he's trying to get around Ryan Cook and does so, but the chef comes back well. Scott can turn, and Koso's in a good pocket of space. He's got a 1v1 to run at Walsh. Eventually gets help and lays it down to the mountain. Lucas Hill running towards the byline. Low cross just eludes Ryan, who'd made a good near post run. And that is really good end-to-end football there from the Warriors. Good pace about it and not too far away from the boot of Jack Ryan.
It was a well-driven ball from Lucas Hill. He would have just needed a little touch to redirect it. No idea. Quite find Ryan for the finish though, as Mearns looking out with Cook. Chips it in, the header goes straight to Nkoso. Joffrey Nkoso now shaping to shoot on the right. Didn't pull the trigger, just hesitating there was Joffrey. Now it's Jordan Scott. He won't hesitate to pull the trigger. He shot charge down though. Pace leaves it away to Kurtz. Kurtz scooping one forward. Yonezawa well away on the left. Stevens comes out to collect there, and just a moment's hesitation from Nkoso, probably costing a good shooting opportunity there, Paul.
Well, it's more that Walsh, he came to come and press him, but he still left him with about 1.5 meters, which is more than enough to try and get it round the defender when he's in front of you. As we'll break from that to go to Edwards. Edwards combining with Hay. Hugh Sloot running forward, but Hay's turned into a very blue alley. And eventually cleared as far as Hill. Mearns or Scott is a good option. Goes to Scott. And Cook. Mearns still open here on the commentary side. And goes to Ladic. Wants the return ball. Yonezawa tries to use his body. Eventually comes up with it and wins the foul. But yeah, it was just one of those frustrating ones when you're the lead striker, your second leading goal scorer for the club, you're playing up front, you've got that much space, really just want to hit it. Maybe just overthinking it a tad, as we'll have a look at the replay of that foul. And maybe just leaving that leg in there while on the ground there, Mearns.
I think Code's a judge, but anyway, they'll be free taken by the big Czech centre-half, Arutza. He's looking for Sanders. It's been a popular outlet. That's a great little flick on for Matthew Pace. Got a couple in the middle. Great clearing header from Kurtz. His body into a very awkward position to deal with that one. Did so very, very well. Had to do so. Couple looking behind him. Mearns looks it back to Cook. And in the end, he's done pretty well to play that one out for a throw in, as the Zebras really looking to press up the pitch here and box them in a little. Hay away from Hill. Well read again by Kurtz. You can see why they've opted for Hill in midfield and keeping Kurtz at centre half today. Another strong start. Mr. Versatility there in the American.
Pretty much only up front is the only position I haven't seen Kurtz play so far this season. He's been everywhere. As Hill flicks it on to Ryan. Crossfield ball, and Koso did have most of that side of the pitch to him, but it's been brought back for a foul. Maybe Ryan getting a decision going his way.
Good position. Jordan Scott to try and work his magic. He's a fantastic technician over the dead ball. Quite a number of Olympia goals this year have come from Jordan Scott free kicks, providing the short option, but he'll probably opt to bend this one in. And he does, heading towards Jack Ryan. Cleared away by Watman. Falls to Ladic. Ladic, I think, was trying to chip him, but just overhit that one in the end. And someone down on the deck for the Zebras anyway. Nico Rutzer.
She's gone up for the challenge there and copped a bit of a knock. Two physical bodies going up against each other. And he's actually just been cutted by his keeper.
Yeah, just brushed him with the glove there, I think, Sammy Watman. Get the full brunt of it.
Nah, not quite Barnard-esque kind of brunt, but a glancing touch nonetheless.
It's more Graham Wright territory anyway. So yeah, just a slight glance there. Getting checked out. Should be right to continue after that one. Big checking machine. So 1-1 after 31 minutes here. Hobart Zebras were down for all of a minute before Nikki Edwards got them back on terms. And since then, both teams have had a couple of chances. So remaining 1-1, but it certainly looked like a game that's got more goals in it.
We're averaging, 4 goals a game the other 2 league games this year. 2 all draw at North Hobart, and is it 3-1 here the other game, I want to say?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think Dave Smith described as his team's worst performance of the year, if I remember correctly. Probably ended the Zebras title hopes on that day. Olympia's alive. And this one's worked back to Thompson. Ball to Scott. Swinging it towards the chest of Ryan. Away from him by Tommy Little. Turning to his former haunt today. Coming through was Sanders, emphatically in pace, skips into space nicely, looked to take on Thompson too. And Thompson just able to get a piece of that one. I love the play of Matty Pace to take him on there though, twice. Showing no fear, just looking to back his wheels in, get him behind with a bit of trickery. Beat 1, couldn't beat 2. It's Cook. Heads down the line for Mearns. It's not too much of a task though. Watman. The middle of the park again. Sanders emphatically in for that one. Pace. Mearns and Ladich. I think Mearns was expecting the return ball there. And it falls the way of Hughes-Lute. He was expecting a run from Sanders that was not forthcoming.
Zebras are just looking to attack Thompson at most opportunities here. Probably the youngest and most inexperienced of the Warriors lineup here this afternoon. Quite a very good, technically adept young player, but interesting. They're looking to expose him on that far side as that one goes towards Ryan, who flicks it on in front of Rutzer. Scott running on, but Little manages to clear. Mearns see that one out for a throw in. As Cook will take to Ladich. Actually falls the Zebras' way, and Little has time to pick out a pass and looks up and only had eyes for Edwards. Finds him on the sideline, trying to keep it in play, and managed to win. No, it doesn't manage to win the throw-in for his side. Nathan Coates overall. They are initially there. So it'll be Thompson to take. Oh, a great deal of movement for him, but gets to the feet of Hill, who finds Mearns. And Koso is an option, but Mearns will go himself, and it's that one. One wide and not so handsome at goal.
He's turning to that right foot, finding the space for himself, but the top finish Nick Mearns was after. He's more than capable from distance. Watman goes looking for Sanders. Wants it straight back into the air. Keeps Lute up against Ladich. Ladich did well with the body, but then he's laid it off to Sanders. Might fall for Matthew Pace. How will it spin? And coming from the blind side was Ladich. Blocked Cook's clearance, but recovered it in the end. He's heavily involved in this passage of play, the veteran midfielder, and he's going to have to make another challenge, and did so. Eventually, Olympia will play their way out from the back here. That's a fairly blatant handball against Yonezawa. So puts the arm up there and halts that counter-attack. That was inadvertent, but nice result for him anyway. Stop the Warriors breaking out. Koso tries fancy footwork and then moves it up towards Jack Ryan, and they're starting to give him a bit more service now. Jack Ryan getting a few balls on his head and towards his feet. Oh, that's a lovely ball from Nkoso to Lucas Hill. Hill back for Nkoso. And out for a goal kick. So clearance flew off the king of the Andals. Looking threatening here at the Warriors.
It was a low percentage option, but I kind of just wish he'll hit it there after it got Nkoso set him up, as it would have been a fantastic piece of build-up play. And one of the team goals in the season had that happen as Hughes tries to flick it on towards Pace. Stevens, Pace gets in, Matty Pace rolls it home past the open net, another mix-up at the back. And the Zebras 2-1 up away from home against their arch rivals.
Yeah, just arriving like a thief in the night there, Matty Pace sneaking in, but that's 2 assists for the goalkeepers in this game. And 2-1 to the Hobart Zebras. Just the cushioned header here from Stevens, just not enough on it. McDonald perhaps got a little flat-footed, but I think was expecting a slightly better header. And that one's going to go on the centre half. Matty Pace did really well to just nip in, take it past the keeper, and stroke it home. He's scored a few goals in a similar style this year. He just great closing speed of Matthew Pace, really living up to his name. And 2-1 to the Hobart Zebras. You can feel there was another goal coming in this game. They've not been short of goal scoring chances, but goals have come from errors rather than great build-up play, really.
And it's not like there hasn't been some good passages of possession or expert passing from either side as well. I did think it'd be Olympia scoring next, as they've had the better of territory and possession, especially over the last 5 to 10 minutes. But yeah, I will concur. It's not like McDonald can really come any further out. He'll be able to pick it up as Ladic goes the crossfield ball towards Hill. Watman comes out quickly to collect. Probably needed a bit more power on the header, did Stevens, but still feel there's more goals to come in this game and plenty of time to get one. As Hughes back to Walsh. Now Jordan Scott up and under, which Little will comfortably clear. Muller looking for Hay, but only finds Ladic. Again, not the greatest pass he'll make this afternoon. Pace keeps it in. Turned over as far as the Warriors, and Nkoso's emerged on this left-hand side, has got all over him there. Was the goal scorer Pace? Arm tug, shirt pull, take your pick, really.
Yeah, just wearing him like a cheap suit, really, and fairly easy decision there for Nathan Coe to give. Jordan Scott tells Ryan Cook to just clear out. I've got this. Thoughts the youngster might have had of pulling rank, quickly put to bed there by Scott, who says, I'll have this one, and swing one in with the right foot. Goes to the back stick again. Jack Ryan making a good run, but Watman came out and punched away. He's looking for his countryman there, Jordan Scott, from the set pieces. At times, Ryan's made good runs, but Watman just got there first. And what is required of him, the big Kiwi in net. Thompson. Lucas Hill. Trying to turn around the outside. It's a throw in the end. Ladic, all beaten to it by Hughes-Loot. Chipped under the head of Kurtz. Now Geordie Muller. And there's room out in front of Matty Pace. Making up tremendous ground was Ryan Cook. Recovered it pretty well. Fought him to a stalemate till Stevens could come in and steer it out of play there. On movers and shakers there, and Walter Pless and Bob Gordon just having a chat over a coffee. Just dropping bombs at Bill Reeve over the other night, Bob Gordon. Seeing social media off into a storm.
Yeah, he was certainly curious to know what those two are talking about down there in the canteen, just where all the big decisions in football are made.
That's where it all happens at the club canteens. Yeah, a pretty good one here at Warrior Park too.
Good to see it open today. I was very disappointed I couldn't enjoy any of their fare yesterday.
Yeah, that's disappointing, but when it is open, it's one of the ones I'm sure would be high up on Brad Carl's canteen watch list if he was able to get down here and sample it. It's usually a good selection. This one's worked forward for Paul Stevens. Just classily takes it over the top of Sanders. Plenty of time to assess the field, see anything he likes, so roll it back to Kurtz. Now Thompson, and the Zebras quite go the full press on this occasion. Scott looking for Lucas Hill with a lovely chip ball. Hill will try and chase this one down, but it's always unlikely to get there. So into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Here's the visitors leading in what might be the final nail in the coffin of the title race. If the Warriors were to drop points here, it's already pretty unlikely. If they don't win today, you'd say that's just about curtains. It'd be a pretty remarkable set of events if Devonport weren't to win from the position they're in now, let alone if Olympia don't take the points today. So they need to find 2 goals and then hope for a number of results to go their way. Some unlikely ones too, as Jaden Hay turns and goes. Sanders, that's a pace. Pace for Edwards. Stevens intercepting again, and then Edwards just clipping Mearns off the ball. As he says, what gives? And Edwards just offers in the handshake, which I think Mearns was looking to kick off rather than the handshake, so I think he's a little disappointed there, Mearnsy.
I don't think he was expecting such pleasantries. Yeah. Very competitive player is Mearns. Heard and saw that firsthand up at Devonport the other weekend as one's ambitious looking for Hay. Kurtz will see that one out. And McDonald as Cook offering short. Choose that option to go long to the head of Ryan. Wins the flick on. Peruzza. As far as Walsh. Hay spies the run of Edwards, who's managed to stay on side. Wants to run at Thompson. Does Edwards. Goes towards the byline. Gets the cross in. And comfortably dealt with by Stevens for the moment. Between his teammates and Thompson. They'll work that one out. And Koso temporarily caught in a pink sandwich, but it'll fall to Hill. And Yonezawa goes safety first and whacks that one out of play. Again, a bit too close to the camera for our producer's liking. No foul given there. The Zebras look to attack. Pacers had some space, but it's Edwards running at Kurtz. Will he go to the byline or inside? Goes towards the byline. It's bowled over. Called to get up from the referee. Very quick decision from Nathan Coate. And Scott will look to break on the counter. And Koso clipped by Peruzza. Play on. Ryan getting in front a little. Just picked up another little notch here as this encounter, as we will hopefully get another look at that penalty non-call.
I reckon the viewers would have had a better look than us with this camera angle. We were on the opposite side of the field as Edwards goes in, and he goes down pretty easily for mine. Yeah. I think that's a good decision from Nathan Coate in the end. You can tell he was looking for it. Had just gotten away from him a bit, but he's been dangerous. Nicky Edwards making those surging runs from the left. The most likely player on the park, but well done by Nathan Coate, not being fooled by that one. As Watman shows a strong pair of hands. With the towering presence of Lucas Hill near at hand. He does well and wins the free kick in the end as well. A hold sway in the final 90 seconds of the first half. A long searching ball which Kurtz wants to just leave, and Sanders has just pushed him over and made him earn that one. The Colonel. So Kurtz, I don't think overly appreciative of that one. Sanders getting away as Burns to Stevens to Ladich. Quite patient with their passing around the back. The Warriors, and now Kurtz pulls the trigger looking for Lucas Hill, but from him by the Dwayne pipe. Scott and Ladich. Ooh, sets Paul Stevens a bit of a task there. He was just about equal to it. And the Zebras bench certainly feel it's their throne. David Smith, I think, is just indicating that he thinks it should be their way. But, nothing doing. Here's Kurtz surging through the middle of the American. Then Scott knocks it into the path of Ryan. Jack Ryan, well blocked in behind by Tommy Little. There's a sharp, quick move there from the Warriors, but well blocked by Little.
Good covering defence there from Little. I was still just quite taken aback by David Smith's showing of a pair of glasses. It's not bad work there from the Zebras coach. Well, it's not as overly dramatic as the last Zebras coach. He can provide good entertainment on the sideline, can David Smith?
He's got a lot to live up to. I think by most metrics he's pretty good in the entertainment factor on the bench, but When you talk about a hard act to follow, I'm not sure many coaches would want to follow the outburst from that touchline last year, to be fair. As Thompson,
I wonder if David Smith tried to warm up in Olympia's area this year.
boy, I remember that one. It's one of the great controversies for last year, wasn't it?
As Scott, deep into stoppage time, tries to create one more option for his side, but it'll be immediately turned over.
We've had warm-up gate, we've had sandwich gate. There's been some good scandals involving the Warriors. Some more enjoyable ones than the latest one, that's for sure. As this one's launched long, headed away from Sanders by Cook. Pace knocks it into space, and Scott thought Thompson was going to go. Thompson gets crunched in the end. Great advantage played away of the Zebs. Here's Geordie Muller. Muller looking for Hugh Sloot, and palmed out to Sanders, who taps home, and the Zebras make it 3-1 right on the stroke of half-time. Matty Sanders, he's leading the Golden Boot race, and he extends his lead atop the standings. That's a real bitter blow just before half-time.
Yeah, he was trying to urge his teammates on just before when they won that throw-in, and he's really said, and then actions as well after it. He was there on the spot. It was a pretty good initial save there from McDonald. And the header from Hugh Sloot just getting over the head of Stevens. Good save, but Sanders right there to knock it home past an empty net. And the Zebras 3-1 up in what can probably be described as an upset result so far, given the pre-match prediction.
Yeah, I think the Warriors have entered this one as favourites. Pretty tight matchup on paper between the two. Pretty strong Zebras lineup out there today, and McDonald, a good initial save, but unfortunately just poked it back into a dangerous area. Just the rebound control letting him down on that occasion. Sanders was lurking, and he's very much a man you don't want to be pushing the ball back towards in that kind of territory. He has just been dominating top of the scoring charts this season. We've seen Barnard make a bit of a late charge at him, but
1-3.
So it's going to be a throw in from Ryan Cook. Burns and the Warriors respond. They've had some scoring chances in this half. The Zebras have been the more clinical of the two sides. And probably good value for the lead. It's been a pretty competitive first 45 of football. Burns failed. Might give them one last chance here before the break. Try and pull one back. And I think we can pretty much be guaranteed that it does start 3-1 heading into the second half. It'll be all guns blazing from the Warriors in the second. They've got no alternative but to try and win this game. So they're going to have to throw the kitchen sink at them. And it's hardly been lacking for chances already this match. Here's Lucas Hill. Turning inside, Hill. Tightly by Muller though. Stevens, look at the watch from Nathan Code. We don't have the time for the slow build up here. It's Koso to Hill. Great sliding challenge, Hugh Sloot. Pounced upon by Mearns. Another good challenge from Hugh Sloot. There's long levers going to work and preserves the 2-goal lead at the half. The Hobart Zebras have come out with a point to prove today, and they've got a 3-1 lead in tow at the main break.
Yeah, fully deserving of their lead so far are the Zebras, and just touching on what you said before, Andrew, just clinical nature of the Zebras attacking lineup. Edwards scoring with their first shot for the immediate reply. Sanders being in the right place at the right time, which you expect from the experienced striker. And the Warriors, whilst they've had good spells of possession in territory, and a few half chances, a real lack of one-on-one chances has let them 2 goals down, and potentially their title hopes lay well away from happening, as we'll go to the goals soon, I'm assuming. But yeah, I certainly think the Zebras will be the happier of the sides.
Yeah, absolutely. A 3-1 lead. They've been good value. They've taken their chances. I think it's 6 shots to 5 in total, so just been able to take them as the difference. But barring a big turnaround here, the Devonport Strikers might just be popping the champagne corks up at Valley Road, because I don't think there's any stopping them already, but this would all but secure it. So a big second half coming up here at Warrior Park, and the Hobart Zebras with a convincing lead as we reach half time. We'll be back in around about 10 minutes time to bring it to you. next campaign. At any rate, as Watman gets himself into all sorts of trouble, and Joffrey Nkoso gets a goal from an absolute howler from big Sammy Watman. Well, we had the tackle goal yesterday.
It was a keeper, so that could almost be classed as a keeper error as well. Malunga will score from a yard out. It's his way. Edwards, great save, McDonald, but it ends up in the back of the net, and the instant reply has happened for the Zebras.
It'll be a good battle between those two as this one's taken quickly. Great throw, Sanders turning, and it's a great block there from Stevens. Almost caught.
Very complete, delightful passes like that one as Ryan using the spin to his advantage, cutting inside. Jack Ryan wants to find Hill, and great save from Watman, redeeming himself there. Lucas Hill pushed further. That's pushing the back on Harutza, not called. Scott clipped and gives away the foul on this occasion, Jordan Scott.
Lovely little pass into Sanders. Still going Sanders, and that's headed by Hughes Sloots. Just wide of the post. He's the threat. That
Another run at youngster Thompson. Cuts inside on the right foot, does Edwards, and it's a good save from McDonald. Hit high.
In, punched away a bit unconvincingly. Geordie Muller chips it away from Jack Ryan. And then Kurtz puts it straight into the back of Nathan Code. Hay and Hill buff it off each other. And now it spills the way of Nick Mearns. Mearns sliding it through for Jack Ryan. There's some service, and he squanders it. A wonderful ball from Mearns, and he's just gone with the outside of the boot there, Jack Ryan. Right for Cook. Cook swinging it in. Harutza helps it on its way to Ryan. Oh, he did his keeper no favours there.
Stevens has let that one a bit behind McDonald as well. That's a heavy touch and nearly lets in the Colonel. It's in as far as Edwards, who couldn't get a good first touch. Nkoso. Hill. Muller got his head down. Hill not meaning anything malicious.
And continues his run. Can Hughesloop pick him out? Not quite. There's a lovely link-up move there between Hay and Hughesloop. Donald able to gather. And a long searching ball for Jack Ryan. A slip from Harutza. But it was due to a little infringement.
Towards Sanders. He wants handball, Walsh. Not forthcoming. There's a nice little pass to Edwards, who has another shot at goal. Comfortably claimed by McDonald. Get the return passes. Hay finds Sanders, who can turn if he wants to. Ladich with the push in the back to adversary. Yonazawa tries to use his body. Eventually comes up with it and wins the foul. But yeah, it's just
been a popular outlet. That's a great little flick on for Matthew Pace. Got a couple in the middle. Great clearing header from Kurtz. His body in he does. Heading towards Jack Ryan. Cleared away by Watman. Falls to Ladich. Ladich, I think, was trying to chip him, but just overhit that one in the end.
Mearns. Nkoso is an option, but Mearns will go himself, and it's that one. One wide and not so handsome at goal.
Make another challenge, and did so. Eventually, Olympia will play their way out from the back here. That's a fairly blatant handball against Yonazawa.
Tries to flick it on towards Pace. Stevens. Pace gets in. Matty Pace rolls it home past the open net. Another mix-up at the back. And the Zebras 2-1 up away from home against their arch rivals.
Just arriving like a thief in the night there, Matty Pace sneaking in, but
turned over as far as the Warriors, and Nkoso's emerged on this left-hand side, has got all over him there. Was the goal scorer Pace? Untouched.
The right foot. Goes to the back stick again. Jack Ryan making a good run, but Watman came out and punched away. He's looking for his thanks for Edwards. Stevens intercepting again, and then Edwards just clipping Mearns off the ball. As he says,
it's Edwards running at Kurtz. Will he go to the byline or inside? Goes towards the byline. It's bowled over. Called to get up from the referee.
But well done by Nathan Code, not being fooled by that one. As Watman shows a strong pair of hands. The towering presence of the staff. A long searching ball, which Kurtz wants to just leave, and Sanders has just pushed him over and made him earn. Surging through the middle of the American, then Scott knocks it into the path of Ryan. Jack Ryan, well blocked in behind by Tommy Little. There's Sanders by Cook. Pace knocks it into space, and Scott thought Thompson was going to go. Thompson gets crunched in the end. Muller looking for Hugh Sloots and palm down to Sanders who taps home, and the Zebras make it 3-1 right on the stroke of half time. Matty Sanders, he's leading the Golden Boot race next. Muller looking for Hugh Sloots and palm down to Sanders who taps home, and the Zebras make it 3-1 right on the stroke of half time. Matty Sanders, he's leading the Golden Boot race and he extends his
Dude, that's what you do, eh?
And we are on and ready to go for the second half here at Warrior Park. 3-1, the lead of the Hobart Zebras as we kick things off here. Jordan Scott getting started. Spy any changes for either team would have been made in the break, so it's Olympia with it all to do. If they're going to keep their slim hopes alive here, they must win. As that one's flicked on by Hugh Sloop. The Zebras, meanwhile, are certainly looking for a little bit of vengeance. Always big games when these traditional rivals clash. And certainly after their last trip to Warrior Park, they were very much up to make amends, and they've been pretty good value so far. A good first 45 from them as Ladich picks out Mearns. Back to Ladich. Now Lucas Hill. Back heel to Scott. Opting to switch things up. Goes to Stevens. Shift across the Zebras' defence here. And they're running room on the other side. Just a little bit slow on the switch there, the Warriors. Just allowed the Zebras time to get across and shut it down.
It doesn't take that long to get from one side to the other as well when you're trying to press up on an opponent. So it needs to be a little quicker there from the Warriors, who, of course, they may not have made any tactical changes by the looks of it. I reckon they'll be going pretty gung-ho, leaving plenty of space at the back. You'll probably see most of their defenders push up, especially Cook and Thompson as well, as Ladich tries to beat what seems like the whole of the Zebras midfield. And just to any side of throw-in. The chef goes down the sideline towards Ryan. Rutzer back to Watman. Mearns wants to lay it off to Hill, and Rutzer crunches him with the shoulder and gets a free kick in what can only be described as Jordan Scott territory, I think.
Yeah, big chance to spark his side here. The Englishman Rutzer with a pretty clear foul there. Took a fair piece of the man. And Jordan Scott will surely be the one to take this. Good hovering over it, but this is the moment. Can really inspire his side. Get them back into this one. They need at least 3 goals here in the second half. Inspired the fight back at the Den. Can he conjure something here? It's Jordan Scott. Just past the post. It had the dip, but not quite the line. It was tremendously hit and not far away at all there.
Not far away at all from Scott. Obviously inspired his side down at Kingborough a few weeks ago with a admittedly slightly deflected free kick hitting the back of the net. That one was so close.
Past the post, it had the dip.
To the top corner.
Not
It was
quite
nearly
the line.
a picture
It was
perfect free
tremendous.
kick. As Hugh Sloot just gets a bit too much sauce on that flick on. Roll out harmlessly for a throw-in. As we suggested at the end of the first half, I think Olympia will be very, very attacking here. And it'll be up to the Zebras to, if they want to add to their score tally, to do it on the counter. As Thompson will take a throw. Down the line towards Ryan. Falls to Scott. Gets his head up and spots in Koso. Wants to run at the defence, does Joffrey. And he does manage to win the free kick for his side. Very happy with that decision. Is he on his out?
Further out this time for Jordan Scott. Probably too far to be shooting, but let's see what he can pick out. Interesting that Lucas Hill's going to make that run to the back post and take off that way, and that's exactly where he heads, but didn't get enough on it to get it past the big frame of Hugh Sloot. Away by Geordie Muller. He is looking to turn the screws early here in the second half to get back into it. His slippy pass there from Kurtz. Not too much loft on it.
David Smith barking out instructions as always to his side in front of the predominantly Zebras fan end who've surrounded their technical area. As Muller tries to work his way down the sideline. Ladich keeps it in play. Kurtz does well under good pressure from Hugh Sloot. I think that's what Blaine Walsh had in mind. As it falls to Nkoso. Now Yonezawa. Sanders and Hugh Sloot for company. Fires it into the back of Ladich. Turned over to Mearns. Hook to Ladich, who just gets the pass away in front of Hugheslute. Long ball towards Ryan, just loses it under the night sky of Warrior Park, trying to turn the defender, but he had 2 for company. It's eventually cleared away nearly into the visiting dressing room. There's Thompson to Scott. Hill just out of his reach. And Sanders will try to hold possession for his side. Hugheslute. Mearns approaching. Gets the pass away. Kurtz read that one very well. Someone who's not a natural centre-back. He's got great reading of the play. Does Kurtz. When to intercept as Little. Well, it's come a bit off the shin pad. Will be the first corner of the second half for the Warriors. Attacking their nominal home end where their fans like to congregate down in that corner.
Yeah, that's where the big horn will be going off, I suspect, if they do manage to hit the back of the net, as Jordan Scott will take this one. Jack Ryan just getting some good service with a couple of long balls to start this half, and Scott curling this one right onto the head of Yonezawa. Plenty of spin on that cross from Jordan Scott, who will get back on it and swing it out to Kurtz. Thompson combining with Ladich. Mearns taken away from him by Tommy Little, though. Not a lot out ahead of him. Didn't have a wide man to pass it to. So he did pretty well initially, but now he loses it, and Lucas Hill gets on it. Hugheslute does just enough, although in the end Lucas Hill able to buy the free kick. And I think he's all right, and he's just rolling around. It seemed like it was going to do too much damage, although still down here, Lucas Hill.
Seemed to get maybe trodden on a tad. There by the Zebras defender. Leaving him in some pain.
Well, I mean, with your team down 3-1, you wouldn't think you'd be wasting unnecessary seconds unless he was struggling with it, but seems to be an ankle problem there, and it did seem to happen. We saw in the replay. Immediate reaction from him. Hit the deck afterwards, so Warriors will be desperately hoping Lucas Hill's all right to continue in this game. It'd be a big blow if they were to lose his services for the final 38 minutes here. To his feet. I hope he will be right to continue, but he's going to be absent from this set piece, which robs them of a good aerial target. Jack Ryan, a likely alternative. Paul Stevens also in there. So it's going to be a dummy, and Scott swinging it to the back post, and Koso unable to get there. Wide for a goal kick as Lucas Hill trying to get back on, but hobbling a little bit still.
Yeah, he should be right to continue the mount. We've seen some really odd injuries in the NPL play. Raf Reynolds in the slide tackle and managing to pop his shoulder out last weekend, being one of them. Zebras will now go long from the goal kick. Portman pushing all his fullbacks up, looking for the head of Hugheslute, who's got the height advantage over Ladich, but only finds Kurtz with the header. Stevens nearly found Ladich, but Muller comes charging in and lays it off to Edwards. Edwards gets up and tries to go towards the back post. Not the greatest clearance from Cook, but eventually cleared by the Warriors. And Koso. Shoot grab there on Yonezawa. Play allowed to continue. Sanders waiting in the box, but didn't make it there. Stevens intercepted. Ryan and Scott not quite on the same wavelength. There's Muller. Goes out to Edwards. Down into the Bermuda quadrangle area from our position here in the commentary box.
There's been some poor touches by defenders in the penalty box today, really inviting danger. Inviting the opposition strikers in. Just need to take him to the outside as they'll suddenly let in here. The other end and calling for a penalty too, and almost in disbelief. He didn't get that one there, Edwards, but nothing doing. He felt his shirt was grabbed. This one's way out ahead of Mearns. Wutzer will just drop it off. Sam Watman. Kiwi swinging this one along in the Hugheslute direction. He flicks it on. And the volley from Sanders is over the top. It was a snapshot. Again, the aerial presence of Hugh Sloot involved in the build-up. Sanders couldn't quite keep it down. As it looks like a sub in the offing here. Is it Thompson making his way to the near touchline, I think?
Yeah, it is. Ben Curtis?
Yeah, looks like Ben Curtis. A shift at the back. For the Warriors, and I wonder if that means Mate Kurtz will get pushed on a little bit. Kurtz is more of a natural centre back. So I'd have thought that maybe Kurtz is going to get thrust into a more attacking role. It seems he's moved into right back. So they want to get him more involved in the attacking play. So an attacking sub in that way, bringing on a centre back, just freeing up their other centre back to play a more attacking role. We've seen Kurtz play right wing, left wing, central mid, both fullbacks and centre back. So certainly a real utility they can thrust into whatever role Clark wants. Koso, Cook, Stevens. Here's Curtis. Jordan Scott just rather pushed by Geordie Moore and gets away with it. It's fairly blatant, and Scott just turning to the sideline and going, hang on a second. Hill shooting the ball, but Huxley came in, won it away. Now Stevens for Joffrey and Koso. Plenty of pink shirts around him though. And the body's back in the way as Stevens for Scott. Curtis again. Takes it back inside. Patiently waiting till they spy an opening, and eventually it comes, and Kurtz does well to bring that one down in play. Now he turns inside Bay Kurtz, drops it off for Jordan Scott. Well read by Dwayne Walsh, getting in ahead of Kurtz, who's showing good intent here. Really looking to get the ball back in play quick, and Lucas Hill, I think, was suggesting he take the long throw, but Kurtz opts to knock it to Scott instead. To Kurtz, all absolutely nobody there though. A little able to clear away to pace. Matic wins it back for the Warriors. Again, just recycling it out the back.
They're not quite shutting up shop, the Zebras, but they're sort of in that half-hour period before you shut down, where you start doing the closing checklist. They're really starting to tighten up out the back, dropping deeper and deeper, and only really leaving Sanders up front in any attacking opportunity, because they will get a chance to get their foot on the ball. With Yamazawa down the line to Huxley, another flick on that he's won, and the pace tries to set in Edwards. Kurtz back to his keeper. McDonald sprays it out to Stevens, and he couldn't quite control it. Good Stevens, he's got to turn around and defend that. If that throw in had a bit more pace on it, giving Sanders an opportunity to turn and run into the box, but instead it's Hill. Mountain not even winning the throw in as well, and then wanting a free kick. He's not going to end up with anything at the moment. Throwing his shoe to the ground in disgust is the Mountain. Well, happy at his treatment at the moment. He's on a slice of cheese as well, I believe, is Hill.
Oh boy, we don't want two yellows in the Lucas Hill game there. Just inviting danger, Paul. None of that. No, he's just gone off for a bit of a shoe maintenance right in front of the Zebras, faithful all along the fence and right on the bench there. And I'm sure they've got a few things to say to him. Never shy of a word, the Zebras fans. He'll just parked right in front of him as play somewhat surprisingly being held up for him to do his shoe up. I'd have thought just get on with it, but anyway. I suppose the Zebras with a 3-1 lead are more than happy to just wait and eat up the seconds. If it's not in play, they're not going to concede and cede the lead they've got in this game. It's a 2-goal buffer they hold at the moment. The Warriors in a must-win scenario. They've got half an hour here to click into gear. Pull out something miraculous. Harutsa, Yamazawa. Check centre back. His time, and Jordan Scott showing his desire, hustling, charging. He hasn't given it up. That's for sure. His work rate as tremendous as ever out there. So the Warriors throw in.
It does feel a bit like that game against the Warriors had against Kingborough the other week, where they're 2 goals down at the start of the second half, and it's Jordan Scott buzzing about, directing instructions, but the rest of his team not quite rising up to that challenge as we see a very cheap turnover, and Sanders is in all sort of space. Sanders hits it, well blocked, tries to get it to Hughes-Sloot. Ladich eventually clears as far as pace. And he's up against Nkoso. Back to Harutsa. Now the Zebras can just keep possession. Hey, turning on the ball, Mearns sliding in. Still not winning it. And the Zebras more than happy just to slow the pace down. You can see Scott just barking instructions at his team to show a bit more urgency in closing the ball down, recognising they're behind. And unfortunately, the rest of his team aren't quite up to it at the moment.
Yeah, not quite got the same work rate as the Englishman. Jack Ryan's been hustling and bustling hard, and I don't think he's going to be happy with this one. And that's the type of thing that's plagued him this year, those kind of decisions that have gone against him. And that will relieve the pressure. It's camera kind of mirroring the rainbow kind of advertising there, kind of matching our colour scheme there for a second. As this one's just punched down the middle. Falls out the back for Curtis.
I thought we set it to a weird, like, mid-2010s Instagram filter there for a minute.
Yeah, certainly very fluorescent. As one's brought down, but Sanders doing well. Curtis in there, and Ladich comes in to assist. Lucas Hill, can they break away here? Again, a full slide challenge there from Hughes-Sloot, just using those long legs. He's made a few good ones today. Jack Ryan wants the ball played onto his head over the top, and horribly short there. They gave him a chance. This one's just down by Curtis. Good touch at the back. Ladich. Ladich to Cook. Zebras well organised at the back and proving tough to break down, as they're going to need to conjure better than that if they are to find a breakthrough. Just a fairly aimless ball, that one.
Dwayne Walsh happy to peel off and cover those aimless long balls. Really setting Bay Kurtz an impossible task. Down the right-hand flank if he wants to get a hold of that one. There's the Dwayne pipe. Goes long to Sanders. Stevens. Scott looks up, spies the run of Nkoso, and that's the direction he goes to. Harutsa clears. Dodgy touch from Muller. Sends it back into his own 18-yard box. And they just do enough to clear the danger as Hay to Sanders. Now Edwards. Kurtz, one of the few players in the league who will be able to keep up with him, and it's a great challenge from Kurtz. Scott wanting to try and fool the referee, but that's not going to happen. As Hay will take the throw in. Not sure what Muller was trying to do there, but it sets in Mearns. Only has Ryan for company. Harutsa will easily mop up. Iwazawa flies it into Mearns, but maybe just laying it off short to Nkoso there. If he'd made a faster run down the sideline, might have been a better option. The Warriors probably they've got a few attacking options on the bench, but it's all mainly their youngsters. As Hughes-Sloot, it's the big up and under. McDonald will claim that easily. It's 8 Mamar, Sam Hills, Austin Yost, one of the remaining outfield players on the bench. So really youth the option as Hill down the sideline against Little. Wants to try and win the corner for his side, whips it into the box, and Harutsa knees it in an unorthodox way out for a corner.
Did well to get his cross in the end there, Lucas Hill. So, yeah, good dexterity for a big man. Trying to get on the end here of the corner. Warriors fans just trying to get a bit of something that happened. Banging on the boards here, trying to wheel their side on. They need a goal from somewhere. Can Jordan Scott deliver it for him? He Goes low. It's Jack Ryan volleying. It's Lucas Hill. And they have pulled one back. 3-2 the score. The set piece brings about the goal. And it's Lucas the Mountain Hill who pulls it back to 3-2.
Quite sure if that was rehearsed, but it worked very well nonetheless. Jack Ryan, I think he was having a shot on goal. Didn't make the cleanest of contact, but Hill sliding in at the back post. It sees the air horn come out and back to 3-2.
Jordan Scott animated as ever.
And a few nervy moments here coming up for the Zebras as he should hopefully spur the Warriors on as it's a short corner. Ryan and then Hill. And Watman couldn't do a whole lot about that as play gets back underway. Ball down the sideline, which Cook, safety first, heads out of play.
I attribute that to the thumping of the advertising boards. The youngsters here have inspired a response from their team.
I mean, usually when I start banging on tables at Cargo, I don't usually get service that quickly, but clearly banging on the Cargo sign down there brought the results.
Yeah, it might get you kicked out though.
Yeah,
and,
I never get my pizza quicker when I do that.
This one's smashed away by Paul Stevens. So can it inspire fight back here from the Warriors? Should come back. They still need 2 more goals though. Ball doesn't really do them any good at all. They simply must win this one to keep the slim hopes they have alive. Even then, they're still going to need a fair miracle. As Zebras looking to respond. They responded to the first Olympia goal within seconds, really. And they're on the attack again here, trying to repeat the dose. Corner ball for them here. They've been a threat from these set pieces all evening long here. Nicky Edwards has swung in some teasing balls. The likes of Harutza and Hugh Sloop certainly got some prime aerial targets. Chance perhaps to take this one short. Quickly pounced upon by a pair of Warriors. Feels it in near post, and there was Hugh Sloop. Was Harutza even. He's put it over the top, able to volley it. The big centre half just couldn't keep his effort down. But again, good corner delivery from Edwards.
The Zebras faithful wishing that was Hugh Sloop on the end of that one. Not the desired player you'd want. There's a goal kick. Steve Long, Ryan wins the header. Little manages to get intercept. Poor turnover by the Zebras. Mearns with options either side and nearly finds Ryan. Only the heel of Yonezawa getting in the way. Now pace. Goes the long diagonal ball, but didn't quite find Edwards. It's better quick delivery there from McDonald. Out to Kurtz. Watman will try to get there, but doesn't get there, and Koso onto the roof of the net. What a goal that would have been from Joffrey and Koso. Had to hit it first time. He wasn't far away there, the king of the handles.
I thought that was in off the boot. I thought that was just going to dip down perfectly. He made great contact to get it over the top of Watman. It just didn't quite dip in time. It was a very near thing as the wheels of Koso there just beating the keeper to the ball. Always thought he was going to get there first, Watman, but Koso stealing in and almost knotting this one up at 3 apiece. The Warriors have snapped back to life here. That goal seems to have inspired them a little as this one falls to Ladich. Scott under pressure from Sanders. Back to Curtis. Searching ball for Lucas Hill, just trying to shield Dwayne Walsh off of it. And out of room on the narrow wings here at Warrior Park. The move to bring Curtis on and push Kurtz into fullback's been a positive one too. He's got forward and offered them a bit in attack. Kurtz. And that'll be a free kick for the Warriors. Jordan Scott looking for the opportunity to take it quickly. The Zebras getting in the way, so he'll just wait now for his defenders to push up. And there's extra bodies at the top of the box. They really are throwing the bodies forward here now. It's a swinging ball towards Jack Ryan. It's palmed away by Watman. Behind for a corner. And Scott's set-pace delivery continuing to ask questions here. Another corner coming up
Ryan tussling with Harutza there in the centre of the box. He managed to win this one on this occasion. Just been creeping in. Watman's post had to make the save as Scott winds up this corner and he's just about put it in, and Watman had to do well to get that one over the top. He's really put that one in direct from the corner as Scott. Have another look. And Scott's running into the middle here. He's decided to take the corner on the other side. Watman under all sorts of pressure there inside his 6-yard box. Scott going to go with the outswinger this time. And there's pretty much nearly every player inside the box as Scott goes near post. Yonezawa, well, his foot was angling towards us here at the commentary box, but it went backwards out for another corner. It's only Scott, John O'Ladich and Cole McDonald are the only players not in the 18-yard box at the moment.
And the 6th corner of the evening. Scott looking for Ryan. Again, he wins the header, and again, Watman forced to just tip it over the top. Well, I thought he did.
I thought he did too.
John O'Griffith says no, so we'll trust his eyesight. So look here, I thought he did. Just got a little piece of that one. Kiwi Watman.
No.
I'm still not sure. Maybe off the bar. I think we'll back Jono in though. He's got a good eye. And you thought he'd be quite a partisan hack for Olympia. So, look, if he's saying no corner, then we got to trust his judgment, I think.
Look, his eyes are a bit more relaxed than ours as we had to strain ours for a lot longer on Wednesday night. Jono had a much better view than us. All the action at FFA Cup, as it looks like Geordie Muller's night here is done.
Everyone at the venue had a better view than us. I don't know if anyone out there's ever tried to commentate a game from on top of a replay screen 100 metres away from the pitch behind 2 cameras, but can tell you if you haven't, not the easiest of tasks. Quite nice being back in a nice media box here tonight, Paul.
It's luxurious here by comparison. It's just trying to figure out who's coming on. Terry Fagg coming on. Yeah, probably the most interesting place I've ever commentated from. I mean, there was that game we've done here at Warrior Park from behind the netting with a tarp in front, which was good fun.
Oh, yes, the bunker.
Yeah, we had the bunker well before the NRL did, as Sanders, there's a foul off the ball there on Edwards. Pace manages to get it. Jinx inside. Matty Pace! Matty Pace on the counter. Sends the Zebras bench into raptures. 4-2. And is that the Warriors' title hopes officially dashed?
Well, I think it is, but that's a superb goal from Matty Pace. How about this? Takes a touch here just to set it. Takes it past the defender. Beats him all ends up and then absolutely thumps it into the top roof of the net. That is superb from Pace. He's bagged himself a brace. And the Zebras with a 4-2 lead. That might be a match-winning one. And a fairly deflating one for the Warriors, I'd have thought there. You see a few heads drop after it. And I think the champagne corks are being popped at Valley Road now. Because this is going to make it nigh on impossible for anyone else to win the title. It's the Zebras 4, Olympia 2. And it's looking like it's going to be the Zebras' day. In a highly entertaining evening here at Warrior Park, and Matty Pace has been fantastic in attack. He gets a second and just beat Cook all ends up there and left McDonald with absolutely no chance on that finish.
There's not a lot he can do about that, and Pace didn't really have to hit that right into the very top corner, but he did anyway. And either side of McDonald really would have been fine, but now it really is an uphill battle. Obviously, we've seen the Warriors, i.e. Jordan Scott, get 3 in 6 minutes. It will take a similar miracle here this evening as we have another corner for the Warriors. Still pushing everyone forward. Thought about taking it quickly, and they have through Kurtz. Scott sizes up his options. Hasn't yet had time to whip it in, and only wins his side a throw in. Everyone's still forward for the Warriors. And Scott to Stevens in a very unfamiliar position, then whacks it in the back of Lucas Hill. Stevens to Kurtz. And now Mearns. And one out of play, and he's indeed. So from that corner opportunity, Olympia not really doing a whole lot with it.
Edwards Just with a bit to say there to Jordan Scott. He's quite happy with himself, Dickie Edwards, right now, I think. He's a lovely customer this evening. His team 4-2 ahead. I think it's going to be the Zebras' night as Matthew Pace skipping free again, using those wheels. Really give a chance there, though, to his teammate. Cumin on the outside there, but I think really with it'll be a 6-point lead, having played one extra game, possibly a 9-point lead, the goal difference advantage. It would just about, not mathematically be impossible, but I think it's just about curtains. Although Joffrey and Koso might have had something to say about it. Sammy Watman with a good, strong save. Jack Ryan out the back post. And that's cleared away by a little. And the foul had been blown anyway. And the Warriors unable to claw one back. Good save there from Watman, covering his angles nicely.
Twice in Koso's got into that position. This time drawing a good save out of Watman, and then Jack Ryan doing what I like to call the Peter Crouch method there, of both hands on top of the shoulder, pushing down on the fullback to win the header. As Stevens gets the ball back to Cook. Up and under, waiting for Ryan to control. He's done well and then switches the play, and Koso and Kurtz running at it. Walsh done exceptionally well. They had two Warriors players against him and won the throw-in. Did the Dwayne pipe. Suddenly the ball's mysteriously disappeared. I think Walsh is in a great hurry to get it back. The Warriors faithful aren't forthcoming and giving a little bit there to the wet area as well. There's the Dwayne Walsh.
Yeah, look, I'm sure he's received plenty throughout the game knowing that wet area, so I'm sure he'll be all too keen to dish it right back, especially with his side 4-2 ahead as we enter the final 15 here. Let's go up. It's going to be a Warriors throw. Here's Ladich, Kurtz, Stevens. Kurtz into the middle. Oh, Jono Ladich just puts it behind. Cook there. Now Scott. Should have been clipped. Yonazawa. Free kick forthcoming, which is where they've really looked their most threatening today, the Warriors from set pieces.
Certainly have, and really, at what point do you start contemplating getting the keeper up? We had in the Women's Super League game yesterday, Jenna Farrow get up for a corner kick in about the 86th or 7th minute with their side 2-1 down. Will Kyle McDonald do the same here today eventually, as Mearns and Koso screaming for it at his feet. Eventually gets it. Plays it to Scott, wants the foul, not forthcoming. All the way back to Curtis. Sprays it out wide. And back to Stevens, under pressure. Pace on a hat-trick. Really trying to sniff one out as Scott makes a good run. There's Hugh Sloot for company and does well tracking back. Does Hughie.
He's pure heart, Jordan Scott. He has not stopped working. He has not stopped running. He is still trying to drive his team back into it. Just needs a few more to go with him. And lacking allies in that cause has been Scott. So we'll see what the substitution is going to be here for the Warriors. Looks like Aikmamar and Yost are set to come on. And it's going to be Burns and then Koso making way. So two subs here. The youngsters come on. Can they spark something late on for Olympia? Give them a lifeline in this match. Some new energy perhaps. Looking to make their mark. There's no doubt. It's getting pretty late here as two youngsters coming on in Yost and Bilal Aikmamar. We saw them play key roles in the 20 statewide cup final. This one's well back to Stevens. Stevens looking for Jack Ryan. Dwayne Walsh, a strong piece of that one. Get it clear. And we got another sub, do we?
No, we do, which Jordan Scott isn't terribly happy about, but that probably means it's going to be a Zebra sub.
Yeah, so we'll see what the Zebras have here. I don't think whoever comes off will be in any particular hurry.
So I can just see the head of Sunday McEwen wanting to come on.
Nicky Edwards, well, they've finally figured out who it is who's coming off. It's going to be Nicky Edwards, and he'll take one of the slowest walks imaginable to get across there. Eat up every second he can.
I wonder if he'll go full Mitch Marlier and sit down in front of the substitutes board like we saw on Wednesday night.
That was a novel addition, just walking the entire length of the pitch and sitting down to get some treatment 1 metre from the touchline. I don't know that Cody would stand for that. You tell him to get off. But it's going to be a throw-in eventually as Sunday McEwen comes on. And they're going to leave the throw-in for Jordan Scott. 8 Mama presenting short. Goes further afield to Big Jack Ryan. Nods it down. 8 Mama. Away from him. Madic eventually tracks it down. Back to Stevens. Inside the final 10 minutes now. It'll take something pretty special for the Warriors. Switching ball towards Ryan. 2 big men just parking themselves on the far side here. Ryan and Hill. It's whacked clear, and it might be a chance for Pace, who looks to take on Stevens. He's on a hat-trick here, Matthew Pace. He couldn't get past Ben Curtis. Well defended by the young man there.
Eventually cleared. High up in the air, only as far as Hugh Sloot, who pretty much touches it straight to Jordan Scott, and Lucas Hill gets on his bike. Down the right-hand side, it's Hill versus Walsh. Hill going into the box. 8 Mama for company. Walsh sliding in. Hill gets it across the face of goal, and well cleared in the end by the Zebras defence. Yost was millimetres away. He stayed down, but what a clearance that was. Coming across and covering defence. I thought Hill had slightly lost his opportunity there. Managed to get back on the right foot. And coming in as Yonezawa just gets in the way as they have the corner opportunity through Jordan Scott. Jack Ryan, weirdly, is the only one not in the 18-yard box for the Warriors. Just sitting this one out as it's nearly at the head of Hill. Will eventually fall to Ryan. Gets his head up. Sprays it only onto the head of Hugh Sloot. Now Sunday. Sanders. Overlapping run on the far side is Henry Fagg, who's burst forward. Yost manages to intercept. And now Kurtz, who's appearing at left back for the time being. Swings an aimless ball right down the throat of Sammy Watman, who'll eke up every possible second. Watman taking his time. Kurtz back in his more natural position. Walsh can't find a teammate. Not that much longer for the Zebras to hold on here.
Yeah. And creeping towards the finish line here. This one's switched across for Cook. The chef sends it down the line again. Yonezawa putting a foot in. Mamar to Yost. The substitutes combining. Knocks it back to Cook. Now Yost. And Cook. The Zebras have numbers across there. They deal with it pretty well. Madic out the back to Stevens. Switch this one across for Kurtz. Walsh giving chase, but Kurtz gets the better of him. It's Bay Kurtz, and he couldn't get round Tommy Little. A good challenge there from the Zebra centre half, saving the day. Kurtz was shaping the shoot there. And Jordan Scott will again be the man to take it. And knocking on the door here, Olympia. But they really need 3 goals. Done it before, scoring 3 times late, but pretty remarkable if they could repeat the trick. This time Jack Ryan is in there to contest this one as Scott bends it in the middle again. It's cleared away. Scott will get a second bite at it. He bends this one in. It's flicked on towards Hill. It was a dangerous header there. Sanders the one causing the problems for his own side. And it'll be another one to come back in. But they're holding on here.
Double figures in the corner count for the Warriors as we have a look at Scott and the near inadvertent flick on just out of the reach of Hill. But again, it'll be Scott. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Warriors inside the 6-yard box, really crowding out Watman. Reckon we know where this one's going as Scott bends it nearly in. Watman drops it, but claims it at the second attempt. And as well as he could have done there, Sammy Watman. With plenty of pressure all around him and underneath him. It does just enough to keep the score at 4-2. Heaves this one high. Cook underneath it. Now Sanders. Yost tries to steal the ball away, but there's enough pink shirts, and then he concedes the foul, the youngster. And I reckon the Zebras will take their sweet, sweet time in taking this one. And they've only got 2 people even looking like attacking this free kick.
Yeah, might as well keep surprised. So Roots is going up for this one, to be honest with you.
And Little as well.
So they are still going. Looks like the Zebras are really looking to run up the score here as this one swung to the back post, and Roots are just peeled off there. In the end, forced to concede a corner.
That's what we like in derby football, just adding a bit of extra spice, getting that sealing 5th goal.
Yeah, they've decided they're going to keep pushing on and try and find a 5th goal. The attack is the best form of defence philosophy, perhaps, here at play for the Hobart Zebras. They've been on the back foot for the last 15-20 minutes or so under a bit of pressure. Did score on the break as this diving header is almost directed on target. He's played back in and bent towards Hughesley. Yost able to clear it though. Now Jordan Scott sends it over the top and says go chase that Bilal Ait Mamar, and do that he does. Back to Watman. Ait Mamar working hard. And in the end, wins his side a throw into his endeavour.
Did well to drop a fair few yards back, did Henry Fagg. A good 10-yard head start on the on-rushing Warriors attackers. As Cook goes back to Stevens. I'm not sure what that was from the chef Ryan Cook. Concedes the throw in as well. And it was at about this time, down at Kimber, that Jordan Scott got the first of his 3 goals. He's going to have to get it very, very soon. Just to repeat that effort. McEwen just looks around for a teammate. Finds one in Sanders. Yonazawa pushing forward. High cross. Smells over the head with pace, and it's Kurtz. Oh, great challenge in the end there from Matty Pace, still battling away with Kurtz, and then whacked into touch by the Colonel, and Scott just pushes him to the ground for no real reason. I think he wanted the ball back quicker, but I'd be surprised if he gets at least a talking to there, Scott.
And indeed, coach is saying, just calm down, mate. I think maybe just a square up for Sanders one at the other end in the first half. It's fairly forceful. He's probably lucky to get out without a booking there, Jordan Scott. Pretty unnecessary. But pure frustration, I think. And then Hughesley kicks the ball away, so he'll get himself a slice of cheese. And he can shake his head all he likes, but he's got no alternative, really.
It wasn't very effective because he actually kicked it straight to Kyle McDonald as well. So, as well as getting a yellow card, it didn't waste any time at all.
Well, there'll be a little bit of time wasted whilst the bookings dished out. The Warriors want to take it quickly. Nathan just telling him to hold up. So if they opt to go wide to Kurtz again. So the final 2 minutes of regulation. Curtis looking for Jack Ryan, and Ryan almost got there ahead of Harutza. A little touch on it, but through for a goal kick. And we're just about done here. It's going to be the Hobart Zebras night. And I think that means that Devonport might only need 1 win from their final 4 fixtures or so. And given Clarence is one of those games, you'd have to say, just about title done.
Pretty much. Yeah, I think it's the second last game of the season. They've got Clarence at I think at Wentworth Park. And they'll probably even have that one done beforehand, as just a general scrap. It'll fall to Sanders. Pace on the hat trick. As Watman, well, he has no Warriors players around him, so he's just going to let this one roll out. Not quite going the full Kenneth Perkinson of running from one side of the 18-yard box to the other, but still giving up a good amount of time. Jack Ryan trying to do that trick where you just hide behind the keeper.
Jump out.
Working on this occasion is Sanders jumps it high to Sunday. Stevens clears as far as Kurtz. Yost makes it forward, looking for Eight Mamar. Challenging against Harutz, a bit of a height and weight difference between those two. Concedes the throw in as we are now in stoppage time. I'd say 4 minutes at a good guess.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. The Zebras set to win this one when that final whistle does blow out. And again today, seeing what they are capable of. As Jack Ryan scrapping away there. It's a clever little ball for Jordan Scott. And Jordan Scott has a shot from range. Why not at this stage of the evening? You might as well. He smashed that one well over the top. But yeah, as I was saying, the Zebras, we've seen what they can do. I mean, they're the only team who have taken points off Devonport all year, and every time they met them, they've outplayed the Warriors here tonight, and they're going to take the 4-2 win. Just like that consistency in the middle part of the year, really. But their best football this year has been amongst the best in the competition. It's just trying to produce it regularly, which has often been the downfall of these Zebra sides over the past few years.
And sometimes they've played pretty good football and not won. I'm just thinking the game at North Hobart Oval as well. Haven't been too bad this season, the Zebras. And just as you say, injuries, consistent lineup, been a bit of an issue. It's that smart move from the experienced winger. And Sunday, McKeown just holding it up against Cook. Has he managed to win a corner? No, he hasn't. McDonald, he thinks he's kept it in, but he's actually won a corner. So, more time wasted here by the Zebras.
Imagine they'll just take this one short, keep it down there.
Breathing down the next to South Hobart as well. On the table with this one, I think, the Zebras.
Well, it's certainly pending the appeal. I mean, it's all going to get very tight between second and fourth, I think, as we head into the final months. Still some sorting out to be done there as someone's just been thumped into the flag there. Jordan Scott's just pushed Sanders into the corner flag, and this time we'll be shown a booking. And just a bit going on between those two this evening.
Sanders doesn't mind a chat himself, does the Colonel?
Never shy of a word, those two. Saw the flag go flying down there.
I was looking up the table, so I did not see it.
So we're fair away. I'm pretty sure I would have given a better view than what we had from here. But a bit argy-bargy between those two. And Nathan Coe was on the final whistle there for a second.
So did I.
Very forceful on the whistle. Can't be too far away.
I think he's just trying not to get trying not to show a red card to Jordan Scott. I think is what he's trying to do.
We will get a sub. It looks like Matthew Pace will come off, and he should get a good reception here. He's put in a good shift today, Pace. He's bagged a brace, been one of his best performances in the NPL Tasmania. And replacing him is going to be Joshua Jones, I think. Jonathan Jones. No, Joshua Jones. Good luck telling by the number as flying off his line here was Watman causing trouble. I can't tell what number that is.
Oh, it's in single digits and Jones is in double digits, so it has to be Arthur Wilson.
Must be Arthur Wilson then. So, do they even have numbers on their shirts?
Look, it's debatable. There's been many times this year I've not seen them. This is another one.
So it must be Arthur Wilson then, on that basis. Taken short to Ladich. I'll just show too much of it. So Jaden Hay in the break is on here. It's Fag through the middle. Sends it back outside. Buffering in there to Kurtz. He did pretty well in the end. Defend his flank. Scott turns the ball. And not a lot ahead, so he tracks back to Cook. And just must have been clipped after he got rid of that one, I think, Kurtz. So, a final set-piece opportunity, but a little more than an opportunity for a consolation goal, this one. It's the final whistle must be imminent now. We've travelled 94 and a half minutes. They take it short. Chance to cross. It's low to the mixer. It falls and deflected strike blocked away. Fag clears the area. with the watch from Nathan Code. Continue for a moment longer at least. Mladic, Yost, Stevens couldn't keep it in, and there is the full-time whistle, and it might be the full-time whistle on the Olympia Warriors campaign. They are not messing about with the lights here. I have seen some quick hints to get out of here, but the lights have gone off in record time at Warrior Park, and it might indeed be lights out on the title race too. The Devonport Strikers surely now have got this title sewn up. A big win for the Hobart Zebras. They wanted a response today after what they deemed their worst performance of the year at this venue earlier in the season, and they certainly produced that today, Paul Hunt.
Yeah, they certainly did. Outside of that early mistake giving the Warriors the lead, they had a very, very good first half, and in that second half they set up their stall really well. As we have a look at that mistake that Watman will not like back, but besides that, they played really well here. The Zebras defended organised, not even sort of backs to the wall, hacks clearance. They were really well set up with their defence. Leading from the front was Sanders and Pace. Edwards got them on the score sheet. They just really played to their full potential today, Zebras, which is something we haven't been able to say a lot this NPL Tas season, but this is how good they can be, and I expect a big smile on David Smith's face after this one.
As we have a look at Matthew Pace taking advantage of the error at the back there, and bagging the first of his 2 goals for the evening. That gave them the 2-1 lead. It was a quick response. Edwards got them back on terms. They weren't down for long. And McDonald parrying that one back into the path of the lurking Matty Sanders, who celebrated with some verve in front of the rival fans there. Just enjoying himself there, Sanders. The Warriors, though, they were determined. They looked to fight back, and they pulled it back to 3-2 through Lucas Hill. A set piece. They had double figures in the corners in this game, and one of them was eventually going to pay off. It did. They pulled it back to 3-2, and at that point, I'm thinking maybe they could pull off another miraculous comeback. It was not to be. Matthew Pace, well, we haven't got that one. Matthew Pace bagging his second of the day to ice it at 4-2 and securing a 4-2 win for the Hobart Zebras. So, unlucky Pacey, you'll have to wait for the highlights reel for that one. Anyway, that's apparently us done here at Warrior Park. The lights will probably turn off in the whole venue soon, I'd imagine, given they went off immediately on the pitch as soon as the final whistle went out. But from Warrior Park here this evening, the Hobart Zebras claim a victory over their traditional rivals, 4-2. And the Devonport Strikers will be celebrating up on the coast, because I think the title race is done. For us at Slice of Cheese and Bond Stream, it's been a pleasure bringing this one to you. And we'll be back next week. But from Warrior Park, it was the Zebras over their traditional rivals.